Hey guys, it's Brandon Miniman from Pocketnow.com, and in this video we're going to cover the hardware of the HTC Touch Pro, one of the most highly anticipated devices of this year in the Windows mobile space. I first want to talk about the size of the device. Now, when it was first announced with the Touch Diamond earlier this year, a lot of people were disgruntled about how thick this was going to be. And indeed, it is thick, but I'll tell you what guys, this device does not feel thick. It's thin in the hand because it's not very wide and it's not very tall compared to its big brother, the Titan II or the Kaiser. In the pocket, it doesn't feel big. In the hand, it doesn't feel big. The only time when you kind of sense that it's actually very thick is when it's sitting on a tabletop like so, or it's sitting out in front of you and you look at a profile shot of it. But beyond that, it doesn't feel that big. Okay, so let's open up the keyboard. And of course the screen's going to turn on, and we'll talk more about the software later. And what we have here is a 5-row QWERTY keypad. And it's really great that HTC has included a full number pad at the top here, because usually what you have to do on these sort of devices to get, 565, you would have to do function this number, function that number, kind of like you would do on the, Kaiser. So a really great keyboard, and even though these keys are smaller than they are on the Titan II or the Kaiser, they feel really nice, and I think this keyboard may actually be better than that on the Motorola Q9H, which is considered to have the best keyboard of any Windows mobile device. So let's close the slider. Over here on the side we have a volume up and down button, and here it says HTC Innovation. Going to the bottom we have HTC's proprietary jack, and there's a soft reset hole, and if you remember on the Diamond, the soft reset hole was behind the stylus, so this is a much better place for it. We have a microphone there. Going over to the other side, there's nothing here except for the stylus, which, as you remember from the Diamond, has a magnet at the end. So if I kind of put it slightly in, it'll pull itself all the way in, and when you remove the stylus, it turns on the screen and takes it out of standby mode. And of course it's stuck in landscape because I just had it in landscape. And what's interesting, and I don't know if the Touch Diamond also exhibits this, the entire backing of this phone is magnetic. Look at this. I don't know what the purpose of that is, or if it was done on purpose, but it's kind of interesting. Okay, so let's flip over to the top. We have a power and standby button. Now, one of the differences between this device and the Touch Diamond is that it has a Microsd slot. So if we remove the back cover, and before I do, I want to mention that this coating is kind of the rubbery soft coating that you find on the Excalibur or a lot of other devices. I know on the Touch Diamond it was a shiny plastic, which didn't make it feel as good in hand, but they've replaced it on the Touch Pro. So to open the back, you kind of slide it up. It's very easy. And on the back here we have the Microsd slot, and this is hot swappable, so you don't have to turn off the device to take out the card, and you can take it out and put it back in while the device is on and flip it back around to the other side and access music or movies or anything like that. Here we have the camera sensor and the flash, and of course the slot for your SIM card. Turning back to the other side, and of course the phone went on, we have, let me get a little bit closer so you can see these buttons on the front. And as you can see, the device is an absolute fingerprint magnet. Hold on one second, I'm going to clean it off for you. Okay, that's a bit better, and I recommend that you use the included screen protector so that you avoid getting so many smudges on this thing. So here we have some buttons. We have a home button, which will take you back to the TouchFlow 3D screen. We have a back button, which also doubles as an OK button in many screens. There's a call end, a call start button, and all of these aren't touch sensitive except for some things about the D-pad. I'll talk about that in a second. You actually have to press them down and you get a little bit of tactile feedback, which is good. Look at the fingerprint it just left. It's pretty amazing. In the center we have a D-pad, but it does a few interesting things. In some applications like the photo browser and Opera Mobile, if you run your finger along the outside, it will zoom in and out, which is a nice feature. Also, if you're in a text message or if you're in an email, doing this motion will make the text bigger or smaller, which is good. This button in the center actually has some touch sensitivity. If you are in the camera application, to focus the lens, you tap it with your finger, but don't press it down all the way, and then to take the picture, you press inward, just as if it were a standard D-pad. Moving along to the top, We have a front-facing video camera for those that can use it, and we have a speaker and a status light here. I should also mention that there are many different kind of status light configurations that go on down here. When you're charging it, it looks like it's filling up. When you have a new call, it blinks. When it's on standby, you can probably see it if I hold it for a second. When it's on standby, it blinks like it does there. So that's a really interesting innovation that you don't see on too many Windows Mobile devices. So in summary, the hardware on the Touch Pro is well done. There's one issue that I've found, and you're not going to be able to perceive this over the video, but there's a little bit of play in the keyboard when you push it up and down. I can actually feel it move slightly up and down. Maybe you can see it in the video, but I mean, for a device that's this expensive, I don't want any sort of keyboard play that implies bad quality, because HTC makes good devices, and that's really not acceptable. So that's pretty much it for the hardware on the HTC Touch Pro. In the next video, we're going to turn this on and talk about all of the interesting features and how the integration with the keyboard works and everything like that. So that's it for now.